There's so many wrecked cars over here. It's crazy though. These cars are all smashed up.
It's hard to even see in that video. Blinded by dust, dozens of vehicles and tractor trailers mangled and smoking after a deadly pileup in Montgomery County, Illinois.
At this hour, I-55 is shut down. State police on the ground tell us there are 6 reported fatalities so far, with 30 people taken to the hospital.
This happened 70 miles northeast of St. Louis between Litchfield and Springfield. First alert traffic maps show the backup on I-55. You can see it there marked in the purple. We're told the initial crash happened at milepost 76. News 4's Caroline Hecker joins us live there in Montgomery County from that scene.
Well, guys, interstate is still closed. Like you said, you see a lot more empty space, though. That's because a lot of the semis are actually rolling backwards, trying to back up. We'll show you that in a second. But because it's somewhat clear right now, we have a moment of clarity. You can finally see that pile up there in the northbound and southbound lanes. That is the focus of what these first responders have been attempting to clear this entire afternoon. Like you mentioned, state police telling us 6 people have been confirmed dead. We know 30 people were taken to the hospital, and about 40 to 60 passenger cars, so cars you and I would drive, involved, along with a couple of semis that also ended up catching fire. And because everything is so smashed together and intertwined, police saying that made it really difficult for first responders to check on every car and to get to every car in a quick way. But again, cars starting to back up because what we've been told is 55 is going to be shut down for at least the rest of the evening, if not into the early morning hours. There is still, though, a gentleman sitting under this overpass in a big RV. We went down and caught up with him to find out how long he'd been sitting there.
Didn't see it said closed anymore. I'm going, what? That's crazy. So next thing you know, I get here. I was back about a mile probably, and everything just started backing up. And then I've never seen so many fire engines, police cars, and ambulances.
Now, he said he came to a grinding halt at about 11 a.m., which is pretty much when this pileup happened. He was coming from St. Charles, heading up to the Chicago area to deliver the RV that he's driving. But if you take a look at the northbound lanes, you see a sight that you don't see very often. Those semi-drivers going in reverse, trying to back up to eventually be able to get off of the interstate and go a different way. We've seen plenty of wreckers coming in with all kinds of heavy machinery and equipment to try to get some of these cars moved. You can see there'll be one coming under the overpass here in a second, but traffic shut down in this area, so if you are in this area, find a different route. But we are still waiting to learn more. You can see how the dust from this field just blows over that section of roadway where that crash took place. And there's been points that we've been out here where it's been blinding and you cannot see 5 or 10 feet in front of you. So it really ebbs and flows, but the wind is pretty sustained right now. Again, we're still waiting to learn a little bit more about the injuries. We know that the victims range in age from 2 to 80 years old. 30 people, again, taken to 4 area hospitals. 6 people confirmed dead in this crash. And again, those injuries ranged from minor, we're told by state police, to life-threatening. Guys.
Incredible scene we're seeing there.
Heartbreaking details we're learning, and just a scary situation that we don't see all the time. All right, Caroline Hecker with that update for us. Thank you.
All right, first
Start a new week together. We want to begin tonight with some breaking news. At least 6 people are dead and dozens others injured after a massive pileup on Interstate 55 in south central Illinois. Police say dozens of passenger vehicles and 30 commercial vehicles, including several semi-trucks, were involved in a devastating crash located about 70 miles north of St. Louis. Parts of the interstate are shut down in both directions after vehicles burst into flames following the collisions. Caroline Hecker from our CBS affiliate KMOV is at the scene with the scary details.
This dust storm turned deadly along I-55 in central Illinois after blinded drivers slammed into each other this morning.
Unknown injury, I-55 northbound at the 76.
Strong winds blew dirt from nearby farm fields across the highway, creating near zero visibility that led to accidents on both the north and southbound sides.
One vehicle's into the median, the other one is a truck tractor semi-trailer.
More than 30 were taken to hospitals. Up to 80 vehicles were involved.
2 truck tractor semi-trailers have caught fire as a result of the crash. We had some initial reports that maybe there could have been an explosion. We can't confirm that at this time.
Now, I can tell you that you can still clearly see and feel the wind that caused this accident. They've been moving semis off the interstate. Injuries in this accident ranging from minor to life-threatening, with the victims as young as 2 and as old as 80. This portion of Interstate 55 shut down for at least the rest of the evening. Nora?
Yeah, very windy indeed. Caroline Hecker, thank you so much.
Like somebody put a brown blanket in front of your windshield. Couldn't see nothing, Just luckily nobody was, stopped ahead of me.
Clouds of dust leading to deadly crashes in an interstate shutdown. Tonight, we know 6 people are dead, dozens more are hurt after a dust storm swept through part of central Illinois.
And within the past hour here, the Illinois Department of Transportation said I-55 will likely remain closed overnight. The area we're talking about here is more than an hour northeast of St. Louis. It's a 2-mile stretch of I-55 south of Springfield. News 4's Dion Broxton is live near the crash site. Dion, we just got some new information. What have you learned?
Sam, first I want to show you that crews are still working right now to get this site cleaned up. Now, of the new information that we learned that a total of 72 cars were involved in this accident. And of the 6 people who died, one was an 88-year-old woman from Wisconsin. Now, you see crews are still out here trying to work to clear it right now, but winds did die down in the last hour or so, and they're trying to work fast tonight because they want to get this cleaned up by tomorrow.
I was down in Oakford, Illinois at a restaurant having dinner, and these gals, they brought me their cell phone. They said there's a big deal going on south on 55, south of Springfield.
That big deal? A rare dust storm sweeping through central Illinois just before 11 Monday morning. The low visibility led to a deadly chain reaction crash on I-55. It blocked the north and southbound lanes about 20 minutes south of Springfield.
And I knew that it was probably the winds.
Officials say the high winds created conditions similar to a whiteout during a snowstorm.
Something like this kicks up and the soil's loose and dry and no moisture. It's just like a desert, where it just blows and blows.
Authorities say at least 6 people died. More than 30 are in the hospital. Their ages ranging from 2 all the way to 80 years old.
And I was getting whipped around a little bit.
Illinois State Police say the crash site is roughly 2 miles long and traffic was backed up for miles.
I was back about a mile probably, and everything just started backing up. And then I've never seen so many fire engines, police cars, and ambulances.
It sounds like due to the low visibility, the high winds, everything just came together, unfortunately, in this particular stretch of I-55, and my heart goes out to them.
After the wind subsided Monday evening, News 4 saw crews removing some of the cars, but the cleanup is far from over.
And you couldn't see, like somebody put a brown blanket in front of your windshield. Couldn't see nothing, I've heard about it some places around the United States, but first time I ever saw it, going on like this.
Officials say it will likely take days to clear and tow all these cars from the road, but they're hoping to have the highway open again tomorrow, and the winds are supposed to pick back up again tomorrow. Live in Montgomery County, Dion Broxton, News 4.
Dion, thank you. Illinois State Police are still working to ID several people killed in the deadly pileup on I-55 in central Illinois.
This evening, we have learned 7 people died, dozens more are hospitalized.
Tonight, News 4's Alexis Sotos reveals new details about that wreck and when people can get their cars back.
Well, the interstate did shut down again today because wind was once again a problem. Take a look at these images from our crew on the scene today. You can see how quickly it went from this clear to this, nearly impossible to see. And we're learning more about one of the victims killed as lawyers are already looking into what might have been done to prevent the tragedy.
She would talk to anybody, do anything for anybody. People like her, we needed more of them in the world.
Family members say 88-year-old Shirley Harper of Wisconsin was one of the 7 people killed in the horrific crashes Monday in Montgomery County.
It was horrific. I've never been scareder in my life.
The Ingolds were caught on I-55 in the deadly dust storm.
3.5 hours of being on pins and needles, specifically because we thought we were going to be taken over by a fire.
As some of the dust settled, you can get a scope of the damage. Cars and tractor trailers mangled and burned, in some cases beyond recognition. On Tuesday, police said a 7th victim was discovered amidst the crash site. They're still working to identify all the victims, asking the public for help.
We want to make sure their family, the people that are out there that are their loved ones that are concerned about their whereabouts, that we're able to provide some closure and proper identification of who these 2 victims are.
37 people, one as young as 2 years old, were injured, and already lawyers are looking into what, if anything, could have been done to prevent the tragedy.
There were several tractor trailers involved, and one question you have to ask yourself is, why were they continuing driving if what it appears to be worsening visibility every mile up?
Clifford Law Firm in Chicago has deep roots in trucking litigation, and they say they've already been contacted about the crash.
Tractor trailer drivers are professional drivers. They have an obligation to act as professional drivers. And one of the issues is, were they utilizing their defensive driving training and skills when conditions are no longer optimal?
Illinois State Police plan to release a majority of the vehicles involved starting tomorrow morning. Now, some of those traveling in the northbound lane will not be released at this time. You will need proof of identity, and we have more details on how you can retrieve your vehicle in this story on the KMOV News app. Corey.
Alexis Otos, thank you very much. New at